Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning. Welcome to the webinar on Global TVET and STEM Empowerment in Malaysia in conjunction with the World Youth Skills Day 2021, organized by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia. My name is Nafisatu Ilmi Zamri.
And my name is Awatif Zamri. Nafisa and I will be guiding you for today's program throughout the Facebook Live session. Please leave your comments and questions at our chat box, Q&A button, or the Facebook comment section. As we proceed with our program, we will attend selected questions. We welcome all the TVET institutions in Malaysia as well as all over the world in the celebration. We will also like to welcome all of our strategic partners, industry practitioners, trainers, educators, learners, trainees, students, and skilled workforce for today's program.
To honor our webinar today, please join us in the national anthem of Negaraku.
In 2014, the United Nations General Assembly declared 15th of July as World Youth Skills Day to celebrate the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. Since then, World Youth Skills Day events have provided a unique opportunity for dialogue between young people, technical and vocational education and training TVET institutions, firms, employers and workers' organizations, policymakers and development partners. This year's theme for World Youth Skills Day, or short form as WYSD, is Reimagining Youth Skills Post-Pandemic. Today, in conjunction with the WYSD celebrated globally, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia is taking this initiative of organizing a webinar with the theme of Global TVET and STEM Empowerment in Malaysia, GTSEM.
We are fortunate to gather here today to celebrate a global movement that honors the youth contribution in ensuring a sustainable environment and integrated nation. In Malaysia, we have a number of skills institutions executing the TVET agenda and delivered in many forms and curricula. Malaysian TVET agenda empowers the latest skills and technology and emphasizes other ability of deliverables by the youth. From TVET agenda empowerment, it is hoped that the national economic growth is continually supported and the industry market is always in demand for the skilled workforce. Similar to the STEM movement, where the youth are still given many options to choose on their career and trade development. The youth can still pursue their dream ambitions in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but complemented by the skills obtained from each trade through the learning process. Hence, the development of TVET and STEM in this country should always work concurrently. It is showing that the productive significance of particular knowledge and theoretical foundation can be better realized through practicality and academic-based production.
In this global pandemic of COVID-19, the youth aged between 15 to 24 are urged to stay resilient in education, training, and workplace. The United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, UNESCO, had disseminated campaigns for the youth to be steadfast about their future. Questions like, what skills or work do you wish to acquire for the future? What skills do you think will be the most important in the post-pandemic era, and why? And what is your message to decision makers in your country to support youth employment, skills development, and entrepreneurship? If you can refer to the official website of WYSD at UNESCO UNEVOC, you will see each year UNESCO is open for youth at world and regional events, including video submissions that you can share on your views about the current topic of WYSD. You can submit a video up to 60 seconds to the official website of UNESCO UNEVOC to be featured by the Central Secretariat. At the same time, you can view other young people's opinions on the subject matter. In addition, today's webinar, organized at national level by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia, is prepared to help the youth to foresight their journey in education and training, particularly for the era of post-pandemic.
Our webinar today will start with an opening speech by Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Muhammad Noor, Director of Youth Skills, Ministry of Youth and Sports, with the title of Celebrating the Diversity of STEM and TVET Development in Malaysia. For your information, there are 22 youth skills training institutions under the coordination of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, offering various technology programs, including automotive, mechanical, electrical, electronic, hospitality, and textile. With this profile of managing about 10,000 students for each enrollment, let us have a sharing session with Mr. Muhammad Iqbal. Please welcome him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Thank you, Masters of Ceremony. Yang berhormat Dato Seri Reezal Merican, Naina Merican, Minister of Youth and Sports. Yang berhormat Senator Wan Ahmad Faisal Wan Ahmad Kamal, Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports. Yang berbahagia Dato M. Noor Azman Taib, Secretary General Ministry of Youth and Sports. Yang berusaha Encik Abdullah Hassan, Deputy Secretary General Management. Yang berusaha Puan Ramona Muhammad Razali, Deputy Secretary General Strategic. Invited speakers, Mr. Jonathan Ledger, UK TVET Specialist, UK Department of International Trade. Mr. David Leo, Sales Director, Advanced Retro Solution, a subsidiary of Yelong International Equipment Group, China. Mr. Miyasaka Tomoyuki, Second Secretary, Embassy of Japan, Malaysia. Forum speakers, Senior Officers of the Ministry, LKBS Directors, alumni and students, ladies and gentlemen. We are fortunate today to gather here through this online platform to celebrate a significant day known as World Youth Skills Day, or WYSD, in the efforts of empowering the youth skills development and technical and vocational education and training, or TVET, worldwide. WYSD was firstly celebrated in the year 2015, with its initial mission was to create awareness on the importance of investing in youth skills development. Over the past 5 years, we have seen tremendous efforts by the United Nations through its governing body of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, and co-jointly by its technical and vocational division known as UNIVOC, promoting the best practices of youth skills development through various approaches and activities. In Malaysia, the initiatives of ensuring sustainability in youth skills development is led by the Youth Skills Development Division, Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia. It is through our skills and TVET training institutions that we are promoting all the key elements of developing the right investment for youth to face the challenges of economic growth and market demand. The key element of skills training should always contain the latest competency skill sets, the adequate knowledge, and the right attitude. The skills training institutions of Ministry of Youth and Sports had also their added values that each student is also equipped with commendable social development modules to support their self-establishment. Since 2020, WYSD has promoted campaigns on the awareness of the post-pandemic era that the youth need to anticipate for the challenges of uncertainties. This year, the global theme of WYSD is also about the preparation of the young people to face the post-pandemic situations. The core values behind this motion is the importance of educating the young people to be prepared with all the possibilities and opportunities they might foresee once the pandemic is over. Consequently, we are looking at various models and approaches on the method of teaching deliveries throughout the period of lockdown. Schools, skills training and higher learning institutions were not allowed to be run physically. Instead, we are required to adopt more virtual approaches with high utilization of internet technologies. Due to this situation, the implications not only affected the pedagogical training methodologies, but also the quality of the students enrolled. Most TVET and skills training institutions in Malaysia have more than 93% employability rate among the graduates prior to the pandemic. However, this percentage had slightly decreased to 90% since last year. The market demand is unpredictable, but the foresight of future economic purview is suggesting that we might be expecting new kinds of occupations and skills sets. Therefore, the TVET and skills training institutions must also be prepared to design and develop the right method of training, perhaps by cyborgical approaches, and produce better youth with diverse skills that can fit many market traits. Similarly, the development of science, technology, engineering and mathematical or STEM in the school curricula must be further constituted at skills and higher learning institutions. The study of STEM in the future does not only fill the gap of academia and research manifestation, but also must come with the right skills for the knowledgeable graduates to work with competencies and intellect. Hence, the development of TVET and STEM are equal importance among the young people to be skillful yet creative and innovative with the right analytical thinking skills. With these kinds of skills, we hope to see a bright future ahead in the hands of prospective legacies. As for the webinar today, we will be enlightened by many interesting topics with our distinguished speakers from both local and international counterparts. I would like to thank all the speakers and panelists that have agreed to contribute to our webinar program today, and we hope that you would benefit the most from this series of discourse. We also like to thank our keynote address speaker, His Excellency Dato Sri Reezal Naina Merican, Minister of Youth and Sports, that has made his time to join us today and gradually officiating this event. And with that, I thank you and Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Iqbal. It was a great insight to learn that STEM and TVET can work in balance and both are in demand for our industry needs and market growth. Both pillars are important in ensuring a sustainable nation and developing a resilient youth. I hope that you are still with us because we have plenty more sharing sessions that you could benefit from today's webinar. Next, without further ado, we'd like to invite the main speaker of today's webinar, His Excellency Dato Sri Reezal Naina Merican, Minister of Youth and Sports Malaysia. Dato Sri Reezal will be delivering the keynote address with the title of Developing Resilient Youth for Sustainability, and subsequently officiate this webinar program. Please welcome Dato Sri Reezal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning. Yang berhormat Senator Wan Ahmad Faisal Wan Ahmad, Deputy Ministers of Youth and Sports, Dato M. Noor Azman bin Taib, Secretary General, Ministry of Youth and Sports, fellow forum speakers, distinguished guests, alumni and students, ladies and gentlemen. Amid the limitation imposed by the pandemic, this webinar today celebrates the resilience and perseverance of our youth in these challenging times, especially those who partake in TVET activities across the globe. In line with this year's theme, Reimagining Youth Skills Post-Pandemic, Malaysia has been taking the necessary steps to assist the youth in getting back on their feet. But in our efforts to be rid of this pandemic, the thing that we must accept is that recovery takes time. There will be many more unfamiliar challenges that we will have to face. But we will overcome those challenges nonetheless. Resilience is the key. TVET has an important role to play in fostering our youth resilience. It is important for all stakeholders to ensure the continuity of skills development and to introduce training programs to bridge skills gap. Solution must be reimagined in a way that would balance the realities of the present and the various possibilities of the future. This is very parallel to the UNESCO's statement on the WYSD celebration of TVET in facing the post-pandemic era. Distinguished guests and attendees, I'm proud that our Youth and Sports Skills Training Institute, or ILKBS, under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, for initiating partnership with various global networks such as the British High Commission and the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport Science and Technology of Japan, or MEXT. Through these collaborations, ILKBS has been able to participate in numerous knowledge and technology exchanges, further enhancing our students' competence. Initiatives to improve and enhance the performance of ILKBS had started through the ILKBS Transformation Empowerment Program 2016 until 2020. This is part of our effort to match the needs of country's industrial workforce. In line with global economic trends such as Fourth Industrial Revolution or IR 4.0, ILKBS is responding to the challenges of the future job market. Furthermore, digitalization will create a whole new landscape in employability trends, as well as business models and prospects both locally and also internationally. ILKBS as training providers play a crucial role in ensuring the development of a skilled workforce that is industry-driven and ready to meet future needs. Hence, promoting skills training of TVET and STEM is of utmost importance to us to ensure we produce quality graduates. It is especially important when we want our graduates to be placed in international organizations. Our ILKBS graduates have shown excellent capabilities to expand their career opportunities both locally and internationally. Studies have shown an employability rate of 90.94% for our graduates, and the ability of ILKBS graduates to gain job placement at international companies is a clear testament to their quality. For example, Muhammad Fahmi Amir Nordin, ILKBS graduate in marine technology, who is now a coil tubing nitrogen operator in Schlumberger Al Basrah, Iraq. Muhammad Haikal Afiq, Muhammad Noor Akmal, and Muhammad Amin Basirun, who are part of the technician crew for the Viper Niza professional racing team that has participated in touring car racing, TCR Asia and Thailand. The Malaysian government has also initiated various strategies to further enhance our TVET programs, and for instance, the ILKBS IR 4.0 digitalization project has received 3 million ringgit to place more focus on research in line with current technological advances. Retrofitting and equipment upgrading project in IKTBN Pagoh, IKTBN Sepang, IKBN Jitra, and IKTBN Bukit Mertajam. 2.8 million ringgit is currently being spent in upgrading the existing training tools, developing smart laboratories, and providing upskilling training for the trainers. And in conjunction with the 12 Malaysia Plan, the Ministry has forwarded an application for allocation approximately 288 million to initiate 72 ILKBS projects. Out of this, about 82.5 million ringgit is expected to be spent for projects in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my gratitude to all parties present for playing their part in the success of today's program. I thank our esteemed local and international experts for sharing their perspectives and knowledge through this online platform. I hope that the audience will find this program to be constructive, especially to TVET institution, in line with today's webinar theme. This will hopefully empower our young TVET and STEM talents on the international level. And with that, I declare the webinar on Global TVET and STEM Empowerment in Malaysia, in conjunction with World Youth Skills Day 2021, officially open. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dato Reezal. From his speech, it is learned that youth should continue seeking knowledge and skills though the global condition which is currently challenged by pandemic outbreak. It is through the right education, training and skills that the youth can sustain a better future and adapt to the needs of the academic times. And his speech has also indicated that our webinar program is now officially open. We will take a break shortly afterwards. We'll see you back at 10 a.m. for our first session. Stay tuned.
We dance.